All right, guys, here we go. Show day here at the Clash Championship Series in Orlando, Florida. All right, guys, welcome to day one of the travel vlog. We are here in Orlando, Florida. Just got to the gym here, Iron Religion. Kind of like a home gym for us, right, Stephen? Because we were here for NPC Nationals, also for the Olympia. It's going to be the home to multiple shows this year, so Iron Religion, actually pretty cool because it has its own posing studio. So we have a bunch of the girls coming up to meet us to train, and I'll get some footage of that. We'll talk about the whole weekend. We got a big show coming up, Pro Bikini, AnnMarie making her pro debut, a bunch of other NPC girls, so let's go. All right, guys, so here we are one day out from the Clash Championship Series, which has an NPC show, a very large NPC show, and a Pro Bikini show. Joe Pishkula puts on some of the best shows around. That was AnnMarie, and this is Kathy Seitz, and we are one day out. So we're doing a full body circuit that consists of maybe 45 minutes of training max, maybe 30 to 45 minutes, just depends. But the goal here, we're not trying to put on muscle. We're not trying to be sore. We are increasing our carbohydrates every single day going into the show. So these workouts are just meant to keep your digestion, keep your blood flow, everything moving into the muscle, those nutrients. Here's Stephanie Matika, who just had a baby 6 months ago. So she's had an amazing prep. I mean, she looks fantastic. This is Miriam Rabari, who happens to be 52 years old. That's right. One of the cool things about this gym, Iron Religion, which is pretty close to the place the show is happening, is it actually has like a posing room. So I don't know if you guys watched my videos that I did for the Olympia for Nationals, but we had the girls come in here, go through their routines. It's just a nice way to end a workout. You get a pump, you come in here, you look really good, put your suit on, go through some posing, or if you're a guy, same thing, you get a nice pump and you come in here and pose. So it's definitely something I'd like to have eventually as a dedicated posing room in my own gym. So very cool. They even have, if you look up here, they have mirrors. So if you're posing here, you can see your back, which is, it's hard to do when you're just looking forward into a mirror. Very cool. So we do a little upper body circuit, we do a little lower body circuit, and really, you know, I've experimented with different methods of peaking. I've tried taking a day off, I've tried training very hard. What I find is that if you take a moderate approach to training, it keeps the nutrients going into the muscles, especially when you're bringing carbohydrates up. You want to have things going into the muscles, into the show. So muscles, if you visualize them as kind of balloons, you want the balloons to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And here is Alice Mendes, who is without a doubt one of the most shredded competitors I've ever coached. And she's on no cardio and, you know, well over 200 grams of carbs a day. And I just could not keep body fat on her. She just kept getting leaner and leaner. She was actually dropping weight the week of the show, which is crazy. Here we are posing in the studio at the gym. So they actually have their own posing room, which was awesome. So here's AnnMarie and Kathy going through their routines, working on things, just fine-tuning. At this point, it's all about fine-tuning. Then we went out in the gym to have a little fun with AnnMarie. Sometimes this natural light can really show off the details. So if you look at her hip, the hip facing the judges, see that little detail there? I call that the hip dip, something I really look for when it comes to conditioning. And, you know, I don't really focus too much on what weight competitors are going to be on stage. I think AnnMarie was around 127, 128, and she's around 5'8", 5'9". She's very tall, but the weight doesn't really matter. I start to look for the details. And here I could tell she started the workout very full, and by the end, she was very flat. So that was a perfect indicator to me that even though we had gone up in carbs every day, she was burning through them faster and faster. So we ended up making a large jump in carbohydrates, and I believe she ended the day on Friday with 320 grams of carbs going into show day, and she had to eat all day to keep up with that. So yeah, this is where, you know, being there in person and paying attention is important. And this is Tiffany Burgess, who hadn't competed with me in a couple years, and we had some work to do, and she came back with a lot of muscle. She moved to California, flew out for this show. Very exciting. This is the amazing Deraja Hill, who was my first ever bikini Olympian. She was also a overall national champion at North Americans, and she's now one of the top posing coaches in all of the bikini world. So this is her helping the girls out with final adjustments.
Anyways, real quick though, I know there's a lot of pro debuts this weekend.
Woo!
Woo! Pro debut.
Wow. Yes. red number off. There we go. And 1, 2.
All right, guys, here we go. Show day here at the Clash Championship Series in Orlando, Florida. And I'm gonna get some pictures of the girls, videos before we get on stage, check conditioning. So it's Saturday morning, about 8 o'clock, maybe almost 9. Show starts pretty soon, so I'll get you a bunch of footage. Exciting.
Depending on what she has a punch, that's about an hour. Close up to 12%, right? Yeah. They'll stop.
All right, so here we are. It's show day. I like to go out and watch. This is classic physique. I like to get an idea what the lighting looks like so I can go back and talk to my girls about their hair and their makeup and their tan and make sure it's all in tune. This is Carolyn Posted, the amazing Carolyn Posted. She does amazing work. You see her putting AnnMarie's makeup on, and I know it looks strange now, but when you see the contouring that she creates for stage, it's just fantastic because it's not easy to do with the lighting, the way it's set up. So I like to give her a hard time. All right, guys, just ran back up to check on AnnMarie's makeup. The cool thing is the show is in the hotel. So now we're going back down. They just called Bikini to get glazed, so we're going backstage again to check on the girls before the show starts. All right, so that's in the red suit. That is Arena. That is Kaylee's client, who ended up winning her novice class. This is kind of just the backstage area where they start lining up the girls before they walk on stage. If you're not familiar with the backstage, they've got to organize every single class so that when the class ahead of them is done, the next one's ready to be lined up. So the expediters backstage did a wonderful job at the show, keeping it organized. Of course, it helps when you have a venue that is this massive. And here's Alice. I mean, the girl just is shredded, which granted, I'm a huge fan of her physique, but they thought she was a little too shredded. Here's Caitlin Callahan came down for the show. Here is, Kaylee and Steven. And, this is the cool thing for me. This is the community that we have built. We as coaches, competitors, bodybuilders, this is it's a small little family that we have, and I love coming to the shows. We can all get together. And so this is it, the first class of the day. We're watching the girls on stage. They're moving them around. Now, typically, when you see the girls move around, here's Arena. This is Kaylee's client. You see the judges moving them around. You can kind of start to tell where they're placing. And here's Natalie. Natalie came together very nice. She's got a lot of muscle, great shape, and we're going to continue to improve with her. And there's Stephanie Matika, who, as I mentioned earlier, had a baby 6 months ago. So, kudos to her. And here's Miriam, who is my master's competitor. She was competing in the 45 and over bikini. She's actually 52. So, and there's Steven's client just to the right there in the red suit. So we had a great showing. We had a lot of competitors just look amazing. And it's always exciting, this sport. And yeah, look how shredded Alice is. The sport is, it's all about just putting your best effort. And there's Melanie Castellanos, who hasn't competed in a couple of years. And I thought she would be in a position to potentially win this show, which is ultimately the goal when it comes to this is what are you doing to improve. And then here is Natalie in her class, and so she made the top call-outs. So both Melanie and Natalie made top call-outs in their classes, so top 5 do get nationally qualified. And here is Kathy Seitz, who actually came out, and I caught her routine. Sometimes I'm running back and forth. It's hard for me to get footage of everybody, but if you watch Kathy, she's been to the national stage before. We've actually been in first call-outs at nationals, and that was in 2019. So we took some time off, and a lot of time, and we've been focusing on bringing up her physique, and she has certainly done that. I mean, she looks completely different now than she did. If you follow my Instagram account, I'll probably be making a post about her transformation. Oh, don't fall over, Kathy. So here's a cool moment. So they're moving all the girls around, and in the center you have Kathy, and right next to her you have Tiffany in the blue. So both of my girls were potentially 1 and 2 in this class. They do move Tiffany out. I think her conditioning needed to come down just a little bit more, a little more streamlined. They moved the girl with the fantastic red hair in one spot. So in this class, Kathy ended up winning and Tiffany ended up in 3rd. But still, it's always great when you see your clients up there together. Kathy lives in Cleveland and Tiffany lives in California, so they traveled a long way. I also loved Kathy's color, her hair, her makeup. It is a physique sport, it is bodybuilding. It is about muscle and balance and structure and all those things. But the bikini division is also pageant-like. You know, you have to display confidence, and they want to see that. And, you know, if you look at the top pros, they're very glamorous. And so we're trying to recreate that look. And Kathy certainly brought it all today. I mean, all these girls look amazing. The bikini division has come a long way. Very rarely now will you find competitors that are not just bringing it from head to toe, because the division's so well defined at this point. Holly Baxter, makeup specialist.
I know, it's my new day job. It's my ride or die over here.
Secrets of the pros. They have hair people. So there you see my friend's wife and my friend Holly Baxter helping Teresa Miller, who are, they're both very local to me, so I see them all the time, and it's just cool to see them backstage. Holly was giving Teresa a little hand backstage, and this is 3-time Bikini Olympia champion Ashely Kotwasser. I thought she was looking particularly
AnnMarie Lawrence. Let's go, AnnMarie!
And there you hear me getting rather excited for AnnMarie making her pro debut. This is the first time she's ever been on a pro stage. And I got to warn you, the stage was not great. So there's actually some like little divots. And if you watch here for a second, I think she takes a little stumble. There you go, little wobble. And she's 5'8", 5'9". So, you know, that's a long way down. But she composed herself like a pro, kept going. And, you know, honestly, they're not so much judging the routine. They're actually picking the competitors apart. They're looking for, okay, what do we have here as far as conditioning, shape, structure? We were very happy with how full AnnMarie came in. Her glutes were very full and round. Obviously, she has no waist, so her structure is phenomenal. Back and shoulders are very balanced, upper to bottom. Look at her makeup now. You saw it a minute ago. It looks a lot different now. So they do a good job of contouring, bringing out the eyes, the lips. You see the jewelry popping. So it's just a very glamorous look. AnnMarie has amazing lines, tons of muscle, very poised on stage. So after they did the individual routines, then they bring everybody in group comparisons in numerical order. So this has nothing to do with placings. They simply bring them out 7 at a time in numerical order. So they just basically want to look at everybody top to bottom, right to left. Third from right in the red suit, that's Ashely Kaltwasser, 3-time Olympia champion. And then AnnMarie was all the way on the end. So basically, the judges at this point are looking down at their score sheets and they're going, okay, who do we have as our contenders to win the show? Those are the girls that get put into first call-outs. So at first call-outs at this show, you probably could have wrote it down before the show ever started. It was your perennial contenders. You have Ashely Kaltwasser, Lauren Dannenmiller, Ashlyn Brown, and on the end there, Romina Basualdo. So that was your top call-out. It ended with Ashlyn Brown splitting center with Lauren Dannenmiller. But the way they were moving the girls around, it kind of indicated they were trying to figure out who second was, and it was pretty clear to everybody watching that Lauren Dannenmiller was going to win the show after prejudging. This is second callouts. Now, the exciting thing for me was the first name they called in second callouts was AnnMarie. So pro debut, already getting noticed, already standing out. In a group of 30 girls, boom, she's right in the mix. Now, if you look on stage, there are 5 girls. If you consider that the center is going to be the winner of this group, we're looking at a top 5 if you get moved to that middle. So what I'm hoping here is that they would move AnnMarie. I had to do some editing because there was someone that kept kind of getting up in front of me. So that's why you'll see it jump around a little bit. But there you go. They move AnnMarie closer to center. So now if Shelby in the red suit is the 5 position, AnnMarie is in the 6 or 7 position. So absolutely thrilled with this right now. Absolutely loving what I'm seeing. To be a rookie contender at your first pro show, to be, you know, looked at this highly already was thrilling for me. I was soaking up every moment of it. You know, in my mind, I'm hoping, okay, I think AnnMarie's got a little bit better glutes than Shelby. I think she's got, you know, smaller waist. Obviously, Shelby's very pretty, very lean. So, you know, it just comes down to what the judges are looking for. You know, and so I'm just watching and waiting to see what happens. Ends up that this is just how it ended. So prejudging ended very favorably. We were thrilled, and you know, just seeing all the work basically since 2019. She was supposed to make her pro debut last year, and she ended up making it a full year later. So that just tells you how much, you know, time and energy she's put into this. So here is the final call out of prejudging. AnnMarie's in the middle, But what they do is they go ahead and bring Shelby right into the center. So this tells me pretty clearly that what we're looking at is AnnMarie in the 6 or 7 position. And I believe they actually do bring the young lady all the way on the right to the other side of center. So I knew it was between AnnMarie and her for 6 or 7. And we actually spoke to the judges. Some had AnnMarie in 6, some had her in 7. She ended up in 7th. It was a 1-point decision. So absolutely phenomenal work. And the most important part is that we've now taken that step. She and I stayed after the show and spoke to every judge that was there, got feedback. We're getting back on stage in 2 weeks. And when you're a pro, there's not a lot of difference between these women. They are flawless from head to toe. So you have to take the judge's feedback. You have to stick around. That's part of the job. And you have to be able to make those adjustments and come in with the look they're looking for, because they are looking at, you know, women that are from head to toe, just structurally, muscularly, beauty, everything is there. There's a big variation oftentimes in the NPC. Once you get to the IFBB, not so much variation. So here are some of the placings. So there's Melanie Castellanos. She took home 4th, getting nationally qualified. And we got feedback. I think she just needs to put on a little density in her lower body. Glutes and shoulders are phenomenal, but overall development needs to come up a little bit. Here's Natalie. Natalie took 5th and got nationally qualified. And again, we got some great feedback for her from the judges afterwards. And here's Kathy Seitz and Tiffany. So Tiffany is right of Kathy, got 3rd. Kathy actually wins her class, and that means we are going to the overall pose down. This is the fun part. You know, you guys know, you can call me Overall Paul. I love my overalls. We won the last overall at the Clash last year. We won the overall at the Holiday Classic last year. We won, I think I had probably 8 or 10 overall bikini champions last year. So just an awesome year. So here's what you're looking for. With 8 girls in the lineup, a very big show. So at this show, they were awarding top 3. Top 3 in the finals actually got paid entry and some awards. So they're really judging the overall very closely. So this is them, you know, looking at girls, and Kathy was in class F, so they're already lined up naturally by height. So the next thing that they're going to do is start moving people around. And then again, you want to be kind of moved to the center. So for Kathy, there's only one place to move, and that's one spot to her left, our right. That would be center. So yeah, and this is what you want to see. Like, you know, they really took their time with this, just like they do at a national show. If you watched my video last year when Alexis won the overall at Junior USA's, which is, you know, where she got her pro card, same thing happened. They really put these girls through their paces. This is the first big bikini show of the year. Sandy and Tyler are both there. They're the Olympia judges. They're the judges for all the national shows. So this is what you want to see. So this makes you nervous when you see somebody move in from the outside first. Sometimes the first name they call is going to be the overall winner. They're like, hey, let's move this person in. But they moved Kathy to the center. So now Kathy is splitting center with the girl in the red suit. So we're hoping, you know, that it stays like this, and that's our position, that we're going to be in that one position. Now they move the young lady from the A class all the way in, and you know, she had a fantastic physique, top to bottom. I think she was a little bit flatter at night than she was in the morning. You know, when I saw her in the morning, I thought, wow, that girl's going to be a contender. I thought she was a little bit flatter at night. I could be wrong. But she was stunningly pretty, had great structure, very, very nice statuesque look to her. You see her makeup and hair is done very well. I mean, you know, to me, she could easily turn pro this year. So, you know, this is how you want it to end. You don't want it to be a cakewalk. You want it to end as a contender. And so Kathy is splitting center in the overall. And now we just have to wait for the overall announcements. And when you're waiting for that, since there's top 3, you just don't want to hear your client's name.
Tiara, the custom bags, the Beauty Fit sling bag, the championship ring, the Invicta watch. All kinds of goodies from Beauty Fit and Clash Girl, paid entry to a national contest of your choice, free tanning package from Lincoln Sunrays, and a $1,000 gift certificate from CJ Elite. And take it to number 173, Kathy Seitz.
So there you have it. She was the last name called, and there is your current reigning Miss Bikini Olympia, Janet Layug, right there, giving her her tiara. next to CJ from CJ's Elite Suits. And as a coach, I don't think there's a better feeling in the world than this right here. This young lady took constructive criticism in 2019, and I said, we need to put on more muscle. We need to take time off, and that's not always an easy thing to do as a competitor. And she took the time off, she put in the work, came back with more muscle, and won her first overall in front of a star-studded bikini panel. And now she gets to prepare for the national stage with direct feedback from the judges that will be judging her, much like a pro would do. So, you know, the process of going from a novice competitor, I love working with girls that have never competed before, all the way to the Olympia stage. This is what I love, and that was a huge moment. So this was pretty cool when Lauren Dannenmiller actually heard that Ashely Brown was in second, which means she was going to be qualified for the Olympia. So cool moment for me to witness. You know, I got to witness her turning pro when she took the overall. She was my first ever overall national champion. Her and her boyfriend now do her coaching. But, you know, it's just a special moment. She was a talent from the moment I saw her, the first day she came to my house to pose and talk shop about bikini. I just knew she was going to be special, and there she is. So congrats to her. And congrats to all these pros up here. You got Ashely Kaltwasser, you got Romina Bass, Ashely Brown. There's Shelby, who took 5th. And then just to the right of the screen right there is AnnMarie, who got 7th. All right, guys, so I just pulled up back at the house. It is Sunday morning, Easter morning, about 9 in the morning, because it's time to go see the kiddos. Little boys got to do their Easter egg hunt. But just to recap, I don't think the weekend could have gone any better. Just to see AnnMarie make her pro debut. She was the first name called out in the second call out. The first call out had 4 girls, so we knew she was in either the 5, 6, or 7 position. A couple of the judges had her in 6th. She ended up in 7th. So, I mean, and actually at this show, the Clash, they pay out top 10. So she actually got paid at her pro debut. So that was awesome. And we're 2 weeks out from the Salt Lake show. So we got great feedback. We stayed after. We talked to Sandy. We talked to Tyler. We talked to Tim Gardner. We talked to all the judges that were there and got feedback. And honestly, at the pro level, the most important thing is you take the feedback and you come back better and you get rewarded. Also, pretty cool moment to see Lauren Dannenmiller get Olympia qualified. You know, Lauren has been someone who I've known for a long time. I was her first coach, turned her pro, and just to see her evolution and now become a bikini Olympian, you know, I'll put some of that footage in this video. It was just a cool moment. So congrats to Lauren, awesome work. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that Kathy Seitz came down from Cleveland and took the overall title at, you know, anytime you've got Sandy and Tyler at an NPC show as prestigious as the Clash, they had 8 girls in the overall, fantastic lineup, and Kathy took down the overall. She won a $1,000 suit, free entry into junior nationals. We got feedback right after the show from the judges. We know exactly what to do to head to the national stage, and that's what we're doing next. We're not doing any more shows. We were planning on doing one more in a couple weeks, but you win that overall, you're ready. So we're gonna do what the judges want us to do, and we're gonna show up at the national stage, and that's it. And then I also had Tiffany Burgess, Natalie Castellanos both get nationally qualified. So, you know, we're gonna take the steps to get them ready for the national level stage. Miriam Ribari took 2nd in her master's class, which was awesome because she just continues to get better and better. Her shape continues to improve. She's been sticking to the training and the diet, and you can just see it, her physique, and